Assalamualaikum and hello guys. Today our group will present our CSR project about occupational safety and health in industry at high speed mixing. This is our group members Sonng and Muhammad Hariz. For our objective for this project, the first one is to understand the importance of HIRAC. We need to understand what's meant by HIRAC. Next, to apply HIRAC in given industry scenario in real life. For HIRAC divided by three parts. The first one is HI for hazard identification. It means evaluation if any situation may have the potential to cause harm. While for RA is a risk assessment. It means by a process for comprehending the hazard and determining the level of risk. And the last one for RC is a risk control. Means by action in implementing risk evaluation decision. Next, for pyramid hierarchy of control. The hierarchy of control is a system for controlling risk in the workplace, starting with the least effective control for personal protective equipment (PPE) that used to protect people from harm. Next, administrative control for minimize exposure to hazard and to reduce the level of harm. For engineering control, to reduce the risk through the engineering change. Then, isolate people from the risk, substitute with lesser risk, and the last one, eliminating the hazard and the risk. Based on this pyramid, elimination is the most effective because it eliminates the hazard and will not introduce the hazard, while for PPE is the least effective due to rely on human behavior and supervision. Next, for HIRAC form, this is an example of HIRAC form that you can do to list the identify hazard, to analyze the risk, and to find the control measure for the risk.
Hello everyone, my name is Sonng and I will begin my presentation by explaining likelihood, severity and risk level. Likelihood is a measure of how frequent an undesired event will occur. Severity, on the other hand, is a measure of amount of damage a hazard could inflict, while risk level is a measure of how likely and severe a hazard could result. In a simple word, risk level is a product of likelihood and severity. For likelihood, there were 5 categories which began with the lowest as inconceivable, such as never happened before, who consists a rating of 1, before moving to the highest rating of 5 as most likely, such as every day or every week. For severity, there are also 5 categories as well that began with the least serious as negligible, such as wound with rating of 1 before moving to the highest rating of 5 as catastrophic that involve many deaths. There are 3 levels for risk level, which are high, medium and low, where the low risk level is the most desired as the risk still acceptable, while high risk level will need immediate action to eliminate or at least reduce the risk level, else the work will remain prohibited. High-speed mixing machine will be the industry scenario that we will be focused in this video. There are many activities involved when using the high-speed mixing machine, which can be further categorized into 3 categories, which are before, during, and after. Climbing ladder will be the activity before using the machine, as is to ensure the machine is clean and ready for mixing. The potential hazards are physical hazards such as falling from the ladder that could cause disability and other serious injuries to the body part. Ladder inspection before use is the existing control measure where every locking bar, feet, and step ladder platform should be in good condition before using it, as all these vital parts contribute to the stability of the ladder. The likelihood and severity of this hazard are 3 and 3 respectively, and it gives a risk level of 9. Additional control measures that could be implemented are follow the steps on the ladder carefully and avoid any form of distraction such as chatting while climbing the ladder. Pouring ingredient into the machine before mixing will have chemical hazard that cause respiratory system disorder, illness, and skin irritation when mixing the chemicals. The existing control measures are standard operating procedure that worker can comply to. These hazards have a likelihood and severity of 5 and 2 respectively that give a risk level of 10. The additional control measures that are suitable for this case are using respirator mask, hazmat suit, and install emergency eye wash and safety shower station that could provide on-the-spot decontamination to flush away hazardous substances that could cause injury in case of any chemical splash or spill. Exposure to high noise level during the mixing process will impose physical and psychological hazards such as death, reduced productivity, and concentration. Earplugs and earmuffs are used as the existing control measure to fend off the current hazard with likelihood and severity of 5 and 3 respectively that give a risk level of 15, which is high. For additional control measure, sound barrier and absorbent can be placed along the noise path to reduce the noise level, and the mixing zone should be isolated to avoid more workers from being affected by the noise. The number of workers operating the machine can also be limited for the well-being of the worker. During the mixing process, dust and chemical particles might travel in the air and become the hazard of the situation, causing coughing, illness, skin irritation, and respiratory disorder. Additives such as silicones that are found in the paint to improve the paint weather resistance might travel through the respiratory route and disturb the breathing system. Respiratory masks and standard operating procedure are implemented to reduce this hazard as the existing control measure, which consists likelihood and severity of 5 and 4 respectively, that give a risk level of 20. Additional control measures that can be applied are isolate and minimize the number of workers near the mixing machine and install a good ventilation system to avoid the toxic fume to group up in a great concentration.
For the next activity during high-speed mixing, for hazard identification, first activity is material lifting. An identified hazard is being stored by falling material like metal parts or things for mixing process. Next activity is the place not well ventilated. Being in the room that has contaminated air and closed system can cause the employee hard to breathe during the work. Then activity for work with machine. Employee exposed to electrical explosion and hit by moving object. This activity can cause disabilities to workers. Next, for risk analysis on material lifting, the risk level is 12, which show the medium level for substitution. For risk control, we can utilize mechanical lifting aids or equipment like jacks and hoists to ease the burden. For risk level on activity place not well ventilated is 6. Also, for medium level risk control that you can use is install the proper ventilation system design like the mechanical system used to circulate and replace the air, or you can use air conditioning. And for work with machine is 10 for medium level. Additional control we should take is do weekly machine inspection and install machine guarding to hazardous areas of the machine to avoid any accident to workers. Last, for activity for after high speed mixing, the hazard identification is product extraction, means we need to bring out the mixture from the tank mixing. We show hazard for ergonomics factors. Awkward posture can cause stress on spine and muscle fatigues. For risk level is 2, we show for elimination. While for risk control, we can take is use mechanical assist like pump to extract the product from mixing process. Conclusion of this project. We need to make sure we know to identify the hazard at our workplace like high-speed mixing. Know the process of HIRAC to expert and know on risk assessment process and risk assessment metrics. Apply the knowledge for safety to avoid the accident. Last but not least, remember, safety isn't expensive, but it is priceless. Thanks for watching.